The unexpected day. The morning sun filtered through Emma's small apartment window as her phone buzzed urgently on the nightstand. She fumbled for it, still half asleep, and saw her sister Sarah's name flashing on the screen. "Emma, I need your help." Sarah's voice came through strained and apologetic. "I'm so sick I can barely stand up. I was supposed to nanny for the Peterson family today, but I can't make it. Could you possibly fill in for me? Just this once." Emma sat up in bed, running her fingers through her blonde hair. She had worked as a teacher before taking a break to care for their aging grandmother, so she wasn't entirely unfamiliar with children. Still, the idea of stepping into Sarah's shoes felt daunting. "I don't know, Sarah. What if I mess something up? What if the little girl doesn't like me? Please, Emma. The family is really understanding, and Sophie is the sweetest 8-year-old you'll ever meet. Mr. Peterson is a single dad, and he's incredibly kind. I promise it will be fine. I'll text you the address and all the details." Emma sighed, looking at her reflection in the mirror across the room. She had no other plans for the day, and Sarah rarely asked for favors. "Okay," she said finally. "I'll do it." 2 hours later, Emma stood outside an elegant brownstone in one of the city's most prestigious neighborhoods. The building was far grander than she had expected, with pristine stonework and flowering window boxes that spoke of careful attention to detail. She checked the address twice, wondering if she had made a mistake. When she pressed the doorbell, footsteps approached from inside. The door opened to reveal a tall man in his early 30s, wearing a crisp navy suit that fit him perfectly. His dark hair was neatly styled, and his eyes held a warmth that immediately put her at ease. "You must be Emma," he said, extending his hand with a genuine smile. "I'm David Peterson. Sarah mentioned you might be filling in today. Thank you so much for helping us out on such short notice." Emma shook his hand, noticing the quality of his watch and the subtle confidence in his manner. "Of course, I hope I can be half as good as Sarah. I'm sure you'll be wonderful," David replied, stepping aside to let her in. The interior of the home took Emma's breath away. High ceilings, beautiful artwork, and furnishings that clearly cost more than her monthly rent filled the spacious rooms. Everything was tasteful and expensive, yet somehow still felt warm and lived in. "Sophie is in her room getting ready for the day," David explained as they walked through the house. "She's a bit shy at first, but she warm up to you quickly. She loves to read, draw, and play with her stuffed animals." As if summoned by their conversation, a small figure appeared at the top of the curved staircase. Sophie had curly brown hair and wore a simple white dress. She clutched a pink stuffed bunny tightly to her chest, her large eyes taking in Emma. With cautious curiosity, "Sophie, sweetie, come meet Emma," David called gently. "She's going to spend the day with you while Daddy goes to work." Sophie descended the stairs slowly, each step deliberate and careful. When she reached the bottom, she looked up at Emma and whispered, "Where's Sarah?" Emma knelt down to Sophie's eye level, speaking softly. "Sarah isn't feeling well today, so she asked me to come play with you instead. Is that okay?" Sophie nodded, slowly, then surprised Emma by stepping closer and offering her bunny. "This is Princess Buttercup. She likes new people, but only if they're nice." Emma gently petted the stuffed animal, earning a small smile from Sophie. "Well, Princess Buttercup is very beautiful. I'm honored to meet her." David watched the interaction with obvious relief. He glanced at his expensive watch and gathered his briefcase. "I should be back by 6 this evening. Sophie knows the house rules, and there's plenty of food in the kitchen. My number is on the refrigerator if you need anything at all." After David left, Emma and Sophie settled into an easy rhythm. They spent the morning reading stories in Sophie's beautifully decorated bedroom, complete with a canopy bed and more books than Emma had seen outside of a library. Sophie was intelligent and articulate, asking thoughtful questions about the characters and plot. "Daddy reads to me every night," Sophie explained as they finished a chapter, "even when he comes home really late from work." "That's lovely," Emma replied, noticing the framed photographs on Sophie's dresser. Most showed Sophie and David together, at various locations, a beach, an amusement park, what looked like a charity gala where David wore a tuxedo. As the day progressed, Emma began to piece together more about their life. The house clearly belonged to someone with significant wealth. The kitchen featured high-end appliances and a pantry stocked with organic, expensive foods. Sophie mentioned casually that their housekeeper, Maria, usually came on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yet, despite the obvious affluence, there was something refreshingly normal about their routine. Sophie was a well-behaved, sweet child who seemed genuinely happy. She wasn't spoiled or demanding, just lonely for companionship and attention. In the afternoon, they moved to the living room, where Sophie showed Emma her art supplies. As Sophie drew pictures of princesses and castles, Emma found herself relaxing completely. The child's chatter filled the quiet house with warmth. "Daddy works really hard," Sophie said, carefully coloring a dragon's wings purple. "He says it's so we can have nice things and help other people too." "What kind of work does your daddy do?" Emma asked, though she was beginning to suspect the answer involved more than a typical office job. He has meetings with lots of people, and sometimes his picture is in magazines. Maria says he's very important, but to me, he's just daddy. As evening approached, Emma helped Sophie tidy up her toys and prepare for David's return. She found herself dreading the end of the day. Sophie had been delightful company, and there was something peaceful about this beautiful house that made her want to stay longer. The sound of keys in the front door announced David's arrival. He appeared in the doorway, loosening his tie with a tired but genuine smile. "How was your day, princess?" he asked Sophie, who immediately ran to hug his legs. "Emma is really nice, Daddy. She knows all the voices for the different characters, and she helped me draw a castle with a secret garden." David's eyes met Emma's over Sophie's head, and she saw gratitude mixed with something else, perhaps interest. "I'm so glad you had a good time," he said. "Emma, I can't thank you enough. You've clearly made quite an impression." As Emma gathered her things to leave, David walked her to the door. "I hope this wasn't too overwhelming," he said quietly. "I know the house can be a bit much at first." Emma paused, choosing her words carefully. "Sophie is a wonderful little girl. You're doing an amazing job raising her." "It's not always easy, especially on my own," David admitted. "Good childcare is hard to find, especially people who genuinely care about Sophie as a person, not just our circumstances." Standing in the elegant foyer, Emma realized she had stumbled into something far more significant than a simple favor. For her sister, this wasn't just about money or luxury, it was about a father trying to give his daughter a normal, loving childhood despite their extraordinary circumstances. "If you ever need help again," Emma said softly, "I'd be happy to spend time with Sophie." David's smile was warm and grateful. "I was hoping you'd say that." As Emma walked home through the evening air, she reflected on the unexpected turn her day had taken. Sometimes life surprised you in the most beautiful ways, opening doors you never knew existed and connecting you with people who would change your path forever.